Good evening, welcome back to the Struggling Hood. I happen to get a new name for it every single day, but that's what it is. This is 4th May 2023, 6:49 p.m. and there's two things that I can document today. Of course, that trend which has been continuing for the past 2 days even continued today, that this 3D project that I've taken up for the full-time job, I cannot work on it because I have to work on all these other edits and stuff for the full-time job. And today matters were even worse because one key editor of my team, he just fell sick in the morning, so he took a leave. And it didn't quite affect things, as in I didn't have to work extremely hard. I take a very relaxed approach now when something like this happens. Most of the times I'm like, it won't get done. But today, so primarily two things. One of the things that I want to document, actually a good AE thing that I did today, is there is this composition I have and I wanted to swap out this pack shot here with 6 different variants of it. So what I did is I set up a very simple expression here where on the slider, if I was to change from 0 to 1, it changes to another pack shot, to 2 changes to another pack shot. I think I can slide it and you can set values, let's say 0 to 6. Okay, so yeah, if I slide it, I will get a new pack shot. Okay, can we set it so that it's only rounded? I think you can. Range, okay, let it be. If you just increment in terms of 1, 2, 3, you'll get another pouch. So 4 and then 5. So how do you set this up? Inside this pack shot composition, you have only 6 frames. So frames depends on the number of pack shots that you have, you want to be swapping out. Okay, and each pack shot is just 1 frame long. This is important to do. Once that is done, you say Alt Control T on your composition, the pack shot composition, and you'll get this. Now inside the time remap, you're going to add a very simple expression. Firstly, I've added a slider control to this and I'm going to refer it into a slider variable. Okay, that's the first thing. Then you make another variable called R and say math.floor. So it's basically math.floor. You could just put it in one single sentence as well. It's just like a little housekeeping. And the most important thing that you have to do is frames to time R. This is important because the values here you see when you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, when it goes directly into time remap, it is considering that as 1 second, 2 second, 3 second. And here we need 1 frame, 2 frame. So in order for that conversion to happen, you say frames to time. So when I enter here 1, actually it's the other way around. If we enter 1 here, that 1 frame is becoming time R. So what frames to time does is, I know as a matter of fact, it does 1 divided by the frame rate. It's a function, built-in function inside After Effects. It does 1 divided by frame rate and then something happens. Point of the matter is, if you do it this way, it works. And the credits to this is from E.C. Abrams, and I have like referred to this video time and again. E.C. Abrams, if you're not aware, is like an After Effects god. I have learned so much from E.C. Abrams, so the credits due, we gave it. Thank you, sir. You continue to inspire me till this date. Moving on, there is one thing that I want to document. In the morning today, I made a very simple walk cycle, like my first walk cycle, and I did not stick to Alex on story or anyone's method per se. What I did instead is I just from my own understanding made like a, why are things not visible here? Shift Alt Z, yeah. So from the rig, I made like a contact pose, down pose and stuff like those. Now can I just view it in isolation? So for that I'll have to switch off this constraint, yep. And then I come in here and the walk cycle, I think it's looping. So this one thing I was feeling stuck at is the fact that on a walk cycle, let me just repeat it. This is the analyst strip that I'm just repeating, okay. Now Shift Alt Z again. So from the side, the way I made the walk cycle, it was looking pretty good, right? From frame 140, if you see. Still getting used to shift spacebar for playing animation and spacebar for tools. But if you see here, we go from the contact pose into, and then the foot goes down and there's that movement. And I've literally done nothing on the torso above. It's just the hands and like very simple movement. And I have animated this on 24 FPS, so it is every 3 frames there is a what do you say, in the pose mode, the keyframes. So what I'll do is I'll just come in here and make a preview from 140 to 164, but you want the end range to be 163. That is when you'll get that looping, continuous looping, one frame behind. Okay, so now if I play it, you'll get that seamless loop happening. Now the way we've divided this is over here, if I start at 140, at 152 is going to be half of your cycle, and from here is going to be the other leg. The way we divide this is contact pose, pass, contact pose, down pose. So first we put the contact pose. From contact pose we have to get to contact pose. In between those two there is a passing pose where the front leg, which was the contact in front, would become straight and the back one would be lifted like this. And then this is the up pose where it will be like an up thing, and this is the down pose where the weight will be at the bottom, like it will be distributed the most at the bottom. And then for here you basically repeat the same thing on the other leg, depending the reference. And so with that I got, I would say, a decent enough walk cycle, but from the side it's not the best. Obviously there are a lot of nuances that go into a walk cycle, especially but I've gotten the timing right. What I haven't got is the personality right. Like I want her to be a little sleepy and drowsy and stuff like those. So those are all secondary, I would say. Primarily you want to get the timing of the cycle right and the movement right. So if you see, when the leg goes from here to here, it's a linear keyframe. That's what I've done in the graph editor for the back one as well. So it's like a moonwalk situation, but that's how this walk cycle is normally. And all the other things are just Bezier keyframes, automatic interpolation. Yeah, my only concern was from the front it looks a bit weird. Like I don't know why she feels like a zombie from the front. But having said that, that's the progress. And then you basically do a follow path constraint on the rig itself. Just make a simple this thing here. Anyway, so this is a little progress that I wanted to document. I've hit 10 minutes already. And other than that, let me check my Notion page of this. Anything, make a basic walk cycle, not perfect, gets the job done. Woke up to a tornado of messages from the full-time job. Can you see my screen? Initially I was feeling sick for a while, so I did spent half an hour taking steam, because I have definitively established this even on inthekhud that the only way to avoid the sick situation, which is the worst place you want to be in, is by doing steam. And when you see very early signs of sore throat or whatever, what not, just take steam and fixes things a lot. So I'm going to come back from the gym and take steam again once more, so it should be completely fine. Like I'm feeling already a lot better. Now the situation is such that I've got a bunch of tasks to sequentially tick off for the full-time job, so I'm not going to get any time to work on the 3D project. That's sad, but it is what it is. And I think, yeah, I've pretty much covered everything that I had to. That is it. Thank you so much for being in the inthekhud. I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.